Hi guys, hope you're doing really well. I thought I'd check in with you today. I recently read an article, it was last week, in the Daily Telegraph, which I found very alarming, and I wanted to share some information from the article with you and some tips on how you can avoid this problem yourself. So the article was all about the big worry that Australian retirees are having in basically saying that their retirement savings are not enough to support their lifestyle and also not enough to ensure that they can actually have the retirement that they actually dreamed of. So some of the statistics from the article are that 50% of Australians over 65 years old have actually found that retirement is costing them more than they expected. So this is a big one because often when I speak to people, they tell me that they won't spend as much money in retirement as they're spending during their working life. But the reality is that once you retire, you actually have a lot more free time on your hands, in which case you actually have more time where you can hang out with family and friends, go out for meals, travel, do the things that you really want to do to fulfill your days. So generally speaking, a lot of people find that retirement ends up costing them a lot more than they expect. The other statistic which was also interesting is that 50% of retirees are worried that they will outlive their retirement savings. Once again, we are living longer than we have in the past. Life expectancy is growing and it's going to continue to grow. And what that means is that we're spending more years in retirement. So we need our retirement savings, our superannuation, our investment properties to go further. So that's another point about what is causing the worry for Australians. Now, this is a bit sad, but it did say that 4 out of 10 retirees have stated that they can't afford to go to a cafe or a restaurant. I find this really upsetting personally in a country like Australia that 40% of retirees can't afford to have a meal at a cafe or a restaurant. And that is because many Australians are not planning adequately for their retirement. They're not thinking through what they need, how many years they're going to spend in retirement during their working life. And as a result, they're ending up having to rely on their superannuation or the government pension, which is not giving them enough to live a decent standard of living during retirement. So I guess a few things that I want you to think about going into this, what can you actually do to avoid being one of those 50% that are very, very concerned about this? Well, the bottom line is that you have to start planning, and you have to start planning as early as you can. You need to understand and think about, what age would you like to retire? And that means what age do you want to have the choice to be able to stop working or cut down on work? And at that point in your life, how much income would you like to have to sustain the lifestyle that you would like to have? And be realistic about that. Don't say, if you're earning $100,000 a year now, you're happy to live on $50,000, because the reality is you probably won't be happy to live on $50,000 if you're used to a lifestyle that demands $100,000 a year. So you really need to think about, when would you like to retire or have the choice to reduce your work hours? What income would you like to have during that period of your life to sustain a lifestyle that will make you happy and fulfilled? And then you can actually work backwards. And in working backwards, it's really important to take an honest look at what your income producing and investment assets are. So for most people, especially people watching a part of this group, they'd be interested in property investment. So you may have some investment properties, you may also have some superannuation. The key is making sure that you're going to have enough by the time you reach that desired retirement age. Generally speaking, people think they've got plenty of, superannuation and investment properties, but when they actually do the sums, it's not actually enough. So just to give you a guide, if you want a retirement income of $50,000 a year passive income, you need to have net investment assets. That means all of your income producing assets, including your investment properties, your shares, your superannuation, minus all of your debt. So you would notice that I've excluded your owner-occupied home from that equation because you need to live in that. So what we're talking about is only your income-producing investment assets minus all of your debt, including your personal debt, which means your home loan, any credit cards, any personal loans. So have a hard look at your superannuation and your investment property balance and your investment property loans and your home loan and think, are you going to get there by the time you have the desired retirement age? If the answer is yes, then that's fantastic. You're well on your way to having your dream retirement. If the answer is no, or you're not sure, then you definitely need to put a plan in place and take some action and some steps that are going to make sure that you're going to have the choices that you dream of and the choices that you desire and the choices that will give you the freedom to have a fulfilled life in the long term. So that's a little bit of tips to help you out. Just as a side note, I will be holding a land tax information seminar on next Thursday evening on the 27th of February. I'll put the link below as to how you can register for that. We have a few spots left for that. It is filling up quickly. But if you do want to come along to hear about that, about all the land tax changes and how they might impact you, or what you can do to ensure that you protect yourself against them for your current portfolio, but also for future investment portfolios, then definitely come along to that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will speak again soon. Bye.